Hi everyone, Farmington Mayor Nate Duckett here. Thank you for joining us on the Mayor's Table. Today's episode is all about San Juan County Census and why it's important for you. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Mayor's Table. We're here at M&M Tax Service in downtown Farmington, and I'm with my dear friend Devin Neeley, who's with San Juan County, and Devin has agreed to join us today here to talk about San Juan County and the 2020 census. I want to thank Pam Knoll with M&M Tax Service for having us here. There are 4 locations for M&M Tax, Devin, in Farmington and in Gallup. So we appreciate her having us down here. You can see maybe some of the construction going downtown behind us. We're doing this on purpose to make sure that our community is aware of the importance of staying up to date on the downtown project and visiting and shopping and doing business with our local businesses here in the area. So Devin, let's get to the census.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. I know Council back in March, we passed a resolution that kind of said this is Census Week, so to speak, and you came and presented to us. But I thought it'd be good for our viewers to understand why the 2020 census is so important. I'm sure there's a lot of questions out there as to how does it impact me, and nobody better than you to talk about it. So tell us about the process and what we're going through right now.
Okay. Well, thanks, Mayor. The big things to know is the census happens every 10 years. All the census is a count of people in our country. All the people living here, citizens, residents, whatever that is, everyone counts in the census. It's done, like I said, every 10 years, and this count stays with us for another 10 years. And so all of those people that are counted, there's federal funding attached to those that goes to local programs. There's just a lot of impact from the census. The census day is April the 1st.
Okay.
And that means, where do you sleep on April 1st? If you split time between 2 different places, where are you on April 1st? And that's where you need to be counted.
Interesting.
You might be on vacation, whatever that is. Where is the bulk of your time, if not right there on April the 1st? So that's why Census Week took place on that week straddling Wednesday, April the 1st. It's really unique this year. The census, for the first time ever, is available as an over-the-phone response, as response online, and then eventually, if folks don't respond in those manners, they'll be followed up by a census worker, and the census worker will give you a good old-fashioned census form to fill out if that's what you prefer.
I want to talk about that for a minute, because in the 2010 census, was it just mail in and then they would visit your house?
That's correct.
So we've come a long way.
Yeah.
But they will be mailing something out to homes, correct? It kind of gives them the opportunity to go online and make it really easy. What is that? So
in March, there were postcards mailed, and the postcard is going to invite you to respond to the census. It's going to have a web address. It's going to have a unique identifier, and that identifier is tied to a physical address. So if you don't receive your mail at a physical address, like a P.O. box, if you live on the Navajo Nation, you won't receive one of those invitations in the mail. In fact, you'll start with a visit from a census worker. If you're there, they'll invite you to respond. They can do so on their handy-dandy census-issued tablets. All census workers, it's worth noting, will have identification. They'll have census things, so you know that it's a census worker.
So if some stranger just shows up and they don't have the proper credentials,
call the police.
Call the police. It's important for people to know that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Our friends on the Navajo Nation, as I mentioned, if you don't have a traditional address, you'll get the census form dropped off by a census worker. For the rest of us, we'll get a postcard in the mail to respond. You can respond on the internet, 10 questions in about 10 minutes. You can respond over the phone, again, 10 questions in about 10 minutes. However, over the phone, you can respond in 13 different languages, including English and Spanish. There's a number of other dialects that are included, and it's really, that's fascinating to me. I don't know if they have operators on the other end of the phone that speak those languages. I don't know how that's working.
Right.
But it's really interesting that the census has come so far from just check the box, or, in the old days it was a census worker that went to town and had everybody line up and wrote down your name, how many people lived in your house, and that was the old census.
It kind of sounds medieval, like when they used to collect taxes and everybody had to stand up. And
Yeah.
So, but we've come a long way, and so obviously for my family, I think going online is going to be the best, but maybe there are places where they don't have internet access.
Yeah.
And I know that there's going to be some additional kiosks we talked about that you're going to be putting around the area. Tell us a little bit about that.
The San Juan County Commission has implemented a complete count committee. The complete count committee is comprised of the cities, Farmington, Aztec, Bloomfield, Kirtland, the county, and some other organizations that have some skin in the game on this year's census. And we're partnering with these agencies to make the census available to everybody, specifically libraries. In Farmington, Aztec, and Bloomfield, there will be opportunities at public libraries to go there and fill out the census. Obviously, if you have a library card, you can already do so by using one of the computers there, but there will be other dedicated means to fill out the census. In addition to that, across the county, we've worked with local fire departments and worked with Presbyterian Medical Services and different organizations to have some events where people can come and maybe grab a sandwich, grab a hamburger, a hot dog, meet some of their neighbors and friends and gather and do the census. And we'll provide internet access, we'll provide the equipment. We may have some giveaways if you show up. So if you see census events coming up, go and check those out. Even if you've already done your census, just come and say hi, say hello to us, let us know you've already done it. And maybe you'll get a stress ball out of it. Who knows? A T-shirt. We have some really cool T-shirts.
There are some good giveaways, as I understand it. So, well, Devin, there may be some apprehension for people to provide that type of personal information. But I mean, talk a little bit about that. Sure. Is my apprehension justified?
No, there's no need to be concerned about responding to the census. First and foremost, the census information is protected by law. Census workers are bound by an oath. Now, I find this really fascinating. Census workers that violate their oath to protect that personally identifiable census information can go to jail for a number of years, federal jail, and they're subject to a $750,000 fine. So those census workers, the ones that are badged, that might show up at your door, the ones that'll be at our census events helping you fill out your census, they can't release that information to anyone for any reason. The federal government, after I believe it's 70 some odd years, does release more census information than just the count. And we saw some of that recently, and it's kind of fascinating to see the difference. And that's where, again, the census workers in the old days, it's a very different job now.
Absolutely. So. If somebody asked, I get it, we want to make sure we have a correct population count for our area, but really, I mean, as a local municipality, as a state government, as the county, what do making sure the numbers are accurate mean? What does one person mean to maybe local funding?
Sure. The state of New Mexico is extremely reliant on funding from the federal government, and there's about 55 federal programs which specifically receive funding based on census numbers. Each man, woman, and child, each senior citizen, each baby, everybody born after April 1st, is worth $5,000 a year and a total of $50,000 a year in federal funding. And those 55 programs, federal programs like WIC, like Head Start, like Medicare and Medicaid, it's funding for programs like school lunch and school breakfast. So there is no doubt in my mind that you and I both and everybody watching have someone in their life that is affected by this federal funding. And if the count is inaccurate, then we're losing millions and millions of dollars. 10 years ago, if I may, in 2010, it is estimated that San Juan County was undercounted by 2.5%, and my estimation is somewhere in the $95 million of federal funding was lost out in San Juan County alone because of a 2.5% undercount.
That's a big number.
That's a very big number.
Well, I think I pay my federal taxes every year. I know you pay your federal taxes, and having that money come back to your community, I think, is one of the things, to me, would be a motivator. I want to make sure that money comes back here, because we can drive through our town, we can drive through the county, and we can see the need. We spend a lot of time talking about that and working with our nonprofits and charities. The need is here. Let's make sure we're doing our part and we're filling out the census accurately.
Absolutely. And one of the other keys here is If you aren't concerned, if you understand the importance of the census, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your family, because they trust you. Some people are concerned, but I can tell you census information is not shared with any law enforcement whatsoever. There's no need to be concerned about that. People don't understand that still, and if we can get that message across, if you can tell your friends and family, the people that you have influence in their life, then it's really going to make our county and our world a better place.
Well, Devin, I appreciate you taking up the reins here to run this. I'm sure it's been quite an endeavor for you.
It has.
And for the committee as well. Of course, we're all working together to make this successful. The census, when is the last date for the census?
So the online portion closes on July the 27th, and in the latter part of May and early June, some census workers are going to be going to follow up with people who haven't responded. What is fascinating is this year you can watch online in real time as people fill out the census and certain areas get filled in, but those areas that aren't filled in, census workers are going to be going door to door, and there will be probably some more hiring done to fill those positions, and it's been an interesting process, and I'm interested to see how that goes.
I think for me the takeaways are this: 10 questions, 10 minutes, pretty simple. $50,000 in federal funding per person, man, woman, child, that we would miss out if we're not counting correctly. And let's make sure we're telling our friends and family about it so that we can get it done as accurately as possible.
You nailed it. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add before we head out?
I really hope that everybody understands how important it is. There is a website that we can point people to, sjccounts.com, and it has our friend Count San Juan. I don't know if you've seen him. He's got some fangs.
I've got a picture in front of Count San from San Juan County, so I probably need to post that.
Well, you'll see him around a lot, and Count San Juan, because it's so important for all of us.
Absolutely. Devin Neeley, thank you for being with us. Devin and I go way back to the days of Farmington Young Professionals back in 2010, so really appreciate your community work as well and all that you do. Thank you for joining us here at M&M Tax Service in downtown Farmington. Again, I want to thank our host, Pam Knoll, for having us, and we continue to ask you to make sure you're visiting and being patrons of our downtown area as we continue this project. Tune in next in 2 weeks to another episode of the Mayor's Table. Until then, stay safe and keep moving ahead, Farmington.